Let's talk education. It's 15 minutes of information about the policies, programs, and activities of our schools and the Ministry of Education. Join us and let's talk education.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to Let's Talk Education. I'm your host, Patricia Evans. On Let's Talk Education today, our special guest is Mrs. Sophia Edwards Gabriel, Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education and our National Coordinator for Child-Friendly Schools. Welcome, Mistress Gabriel.
Thank you.
As the Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education, what is it that you do?
Well, my primary responsibility is to ensure that the Health and Family Life curriculum is being taught in a manner that it should be. For example, our focus is on teaching life skills to young persons within the context of specific content areas, for example, eating and fitness and managing the environment. So I supervise the curriculum in terms of development and in terms of delivery.
Thank you, Mrs. Gabriel. One of the areas you're responsible for is that of child-friendly schools. Please explain to us, what is a child-friendly school?
Essentially, a child-friendly school is one which provides quality education with the view of ensuring the holistic development of every child in St. Lucia. It is a rights-based school, and it looks at promoting health, promoting safe and protective environments, and ensuring that the learning outcomes are of a high quality, as well as the learning experiences that the children go through.
Thank you for that. Looking at our education system, what are the advantages of having child-friendly schools, and what challenges you think it possesses?
Well, the primary goal of our education system is to ensure that our children are successful academically. And so when you are providing quality education within a quality learning environment, this is what you are aiming for. So child-friendly schools assist children to achieve academic success. We are seeing less violence.
Yes.
We are seeing better, more positive school climates. It also encourages greater community and parental involvement, which also gives ownership to what happens within the school and ownership of the community to the school. We are also seeing that the students get a little bit more empowered because they are engaging in democratic participation.
Yes.
So quite a number of benefits for the schools.
And thus far, with all of those benefits, have you foreseen any challenges?
Definitely. Our major challenge is a lack of resources, because you know that without the resources, we can't achieve much. And we also have one of the elements of child-friendly schools is positive behavior support, which looks at positive discipline. And culturally, we're accustomed to corporal punishment.
Yes.
So in terms of trying to find that balance, it's a challenge.
Okay. With respects to St. Lucia, what are our main focus areas for the realization of child-friendly schools, despite the challenges that we face?
Primarily, greater parental involvement. We are looking at democratic participation, both by parents and students. We also want to promote child-centered, protective learning environments, life skills education, which is done through the Health and Family Life curriculum. And we are seeing that we want to ensure that teachers and administrative staff also have a greater appreciation for the value of Health and Family Life education in schools.
How are teachers accepting the changes that we're trying to bring forth into schools with respects to having environments that promote child-friendly schools?
Generally, the teachers are very open to this idea. However, in some instances, depending on the school, it is not practical at this time. In terms of the physical structure of the school, the location of some schools, they're not very conducive. However, given the limitations, we are seeing that teachers and principals are actively involved. One of the things we also have to consider is that in a child-friendly school, everyone within the school system is also on board. So we're looking at the custodial staff, the cooks, everybody has a part to play in ensuring the holistic development of that child.
Thus far, in St. Lucia, What schools are involved in the program and what are some of the activities they undertake?
We currently have 28 schools on board. What we need to, I guess, learn about child-friendly schools is that every school essentially is a child-friendly school, because every school should be operating at a level where they're providing quality. However, the schools we have on the program as such are those that we're giving a little extra support. And so we have schools from all the 8 education districts across St. Lucia. Some of the districts have as many as 5 schools, and some have about 3 to 4 schools on average.
So do we have continuous workshops for our teachers?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Each school that is brought on board, the teachers, we select the teachers and the principal to sensitize them and to educate them about the whole concept of child-friendly schools. We provide training in a number of areas. We recently concluded a training in positive behavior support, and we also provided resource materials to assist the teachers so that they have options for discipline and for managing the students' behaviors in school. So training is ongoing, as well as supervision is ongoing.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gabriel. Explain the process to be followed by a school that wish to be part of the child-friendly school program.
There really and truly is not a set process. Schools are supposed to be operating at a certain standard, and so therefore it's just a matter of going in and ensuring that they are meeting this standard. However, for those schools that are specially selected, they were selected by a committee which also includes the chief education officer as well as the district education officers who have identified some schools to come on board. And as they are identified, then the principal and staff, they're trained and sensitized, and then that sensitization is also done with parents and students, and the process continues.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gabriel. We're about to take a short break. When we get back, we will be continuing our lovely discussion. Viewers, we're about to break. You're now viewing Let's Talk Education with our special guest, Mrs. Sophia Edwards Gabriel, Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education and National Coordinator for Child-Friendly Schools on our island. We'll be right back.
Let's Talk Education. It's 15 minutes of information about the policies, programs, and activities of our schools and the Ministry of Education. Join us and let's talk education.
Welcome back, viewers, to Let's Talk Education. You've been listening to Let's Talk Education with our special guest, Mrs. Sophia Edwards Gabriel, Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education and National Coordinator for Child-Friendly Schools on our island. Mrs. Gabriel, my question to you, there are key resources that are needed to make child-friendly schools a reality. What are the contributions of the Ministry of Education and the private sector?
Thus far, the ministry has contributed in terms of providing training, because when we look at CFS schools, we want to have trained teachers. So we are providing ongoing training, as I hinted earlier. We have also provided support in terms of supervision, in terms of providing materials. We have given a small financial contribution to the schools as well.
That's nice.
And generally we talk about promoting the overall health of the children as well. So we are seeing programs that the ministry offers generally to any school. For example, the school feeding program, the book bursaries. All of these programs assist in getting the school at that level that we want.
With respect to the private sector, do you think that they might be able to contribute more if we were to create partnerships with them in terms of materials that we might need for the child-friendly school?
They actually have contributed on a very wide level. We have, for example, one of our schools that they received the playground set for the school.
Wow.
We have schools that also receive supplies, they get funding. We also have the parents who chip in quite a bit. For example, recently I visited a school where the parent provides filters because the tap water is not of high quality enough for the children to drink. So we have all levels of support coming in from the private sector, from books to materials, even school uniforms and shoes that the private sector is assisting with.
So basically there's a balance, both from the Ministry of Education and the private sector.
That's right.
And do you foresee that in the near future that we might have a full zoning of child-friendly schools on our island?
Oh, definitely. This is where the ministry is heading.
Yes.
We are doing it in phases because we want to ensure that we try to hold their hands, provide the support. And you know we have over 100 schools in St. Lucia. And so therefore, it's step by step, but it's a gradual process.
And thus far, the individuals who are involved in the process, they seems to be excited.
Definitely. And we are getting good reviews so far from the schools that are actually involved.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gabriel. What message would you like to leave with the public with regards to child-friendly schools?
Well, first of all, we have to see our children as a very valuable resource, and it is our responsibility to protect them. We need to teach them about their rights and responsibilities because child-friendly schools are rights-based schools. So we need to educate them in that regard, and we have to do everything that we can to ensure that we are providing them with the best quality education that we can do. And so therefore, it's also important that we as regular citizens, as parents, as well-wishers, to provide whatever support we can to the schools in St. Lucia to ensure that we helping our children and basically our society in the long run.
Thus far, students who have been part of the child-friendly schools, in terms of their performance, have we seen an improvement in their performance, their academic performance?
Generally, we are seeing an improvement because once you have an improvement in behavior and the children are now attending, then you can begin to see changes in the academic performance. This is one of the gains and benefits of a child-friendly school. And so we are getting such reports that we are seeing children are a little more focused, they're performing more. We are seeing in schools the averages are going up in the national exams, and this is the kind of result that we want to see across the island.
So therefore, it is very critical that the Ministry of Education continues to concentrate on finding ways to implement policies that will help elevate child-friendly schools so we could continue to have that gradual elevation in performance.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Mrs. Gabriel, it has been a pleasure having you on Let's Talk Education. Our conversation seems to have been very informative, and I'm hoping that the public actually took stock of what you've said today. I would like to thank you for coming. The Ministry of Education is very pleased with the work that you are doing and would like you to continue. Viewers, you've been listening to Let's Talk Education with our special guest, Mrs. Sophia Edwards Gabriel, Curriculum Specialist for Health and Family Life Education and our National Coordinator for Child-Friendly Schools on our island. See you at our next Let's Talk Education.